Welcome back to the Sticks Twine podcast. My name is Eric. I come to you from my home here in Toronto, and I'm really excited to welcome you to this episode. It is episode 27, recorded on the 27th of November, but most importantly, it's the 1-year podiversary. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed, who has been a part of the channel, part of the journey, who's become a member of the Ravelry group, who's followed me on Instagram. Just a little bit by the numbers, we just passed 4,000 subscribers on Instagram and nearly 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so very much for making this past year really special. So what are we going to talk about today? As always, we're going to talk a little bit about ongoing KALs. Then we're going to talk a little bit about status report, so the things that I've been working on and what's finished, what isn't. Talk a little bit about Knitter's World. We're going to then talk about everyone seems to love the haul, which I'm not going to lie is small this week, and finally so. And then we're going to talk a little bit about wish list, and then there might be a little something extra at the end of the podcast, so you might want to stay around for that. Okay, let's get started with the Everybody Loves PiKAL. There's been an awful lot of participation happening in the Ravelry group, and I couldn't be happier. You'll notice that myself and my lovely friend Ramona, who is Ramona Firehorse on Ravelry, are moderating as best we can. She's doing a much better job than I am. I've been a little bit busy with a few other projects. Some of you may know what those are, but I'm also quite busy with work. So I'm trying to get through my own KAL. So thank you to Ramona for helping out with that. There's some amazing stuff that's going on in there. So if you haven't tried it or checked it out, please do. I think you'll probably find it enlightening. There's also been a lot of chat and requests, and I put out a bit of a request to say, hey, would anybody like a little bit extra time on this? Because I had thought about extending it by about a month. Originally it was due to end at the end of January, but frankly, we're getting into holiday time, and I kind of want to do some holiday knitting and that sort of stuff, and I figure you probably do too. And if we're going to extend already to February 28th, what's another 2 weeks? Why not just go with my original gut instinct was to make it expire on, or finish, on Pi Day, which is March 14th, 3.14 Pi Day. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to extend it out till then. So if you have been holding off and not really wanting to, or not thinking you have time to participate, that excuse is now gone. So feel free if you want to participate. I've talked about prizing before in several episodes before this one, so I'm not going to cover that today. We have other stuff to talk about. But if you're interested, please do go back and take a look at previous episodes and see if that's something that intrigues or interests you. There is a bundle in my patterns as well, that it's all the different pie shawls. Not to say it's exclusive, but there's a selection there for you to choose from and see what you like. Okay, status report. Here's where we talk about all the things that are going on, projects in progress, how we're doing, that sort of thing. So I am going to show you, first of all, you will have seen these socks previously. These are my Rhinebeck sweater weather socks. They still do not have heels, but that's okay. I don't mind. I am going to get them done. I'm actually going to go and buy a little bit smaller set of DPNs to pick up the stitches, because I'm using the Smooth Operator sock pattern by Susan B. Anderson, who just released an update for a gapless pickup around for the heels, so I'm glad that I fell off on that. But I've also finished these are the droids you're looking for. There's a pair finished without heels, so they're not finished, but they're finished. And I'm loving these, love these, and I can't wait to put heels in those, to wear those. But guys, I showed off some yarn that I bought in Texas, and I had to make them because I was feeling very Christmassy. Boom. 2. Yeah, I finished them. Well, without heels. This is the Arnie and Carlos Regia. It's a special edition. It is not officially a Christmas colorway, but it feels like Christmas to me. You'll want to take a look up close. There you go. So it's this self-patterning Regia, which I really love. I did go down from my normal 72 stitches. I went up to a 2.75 millimeter needle, but I went down to a 68 stitch count. I prefer the fabric that it makes with a little bit larger needle because the yarn is slightly thicker than a lot of the other sort of thinner, finer sock weight yarns. So I wanted a little bit bigger needle, but a little fewer, 4 stitches fewer, so hopefully that will work out. And we'll know as soon as I put the heels in. So I'm going to have to just like do a day o' heels and get them all done. But what I think is kind of fun, and I'll tell you right now, guys, that brings me up to 10 pairs finished. So anyone who's participating in the Voolenvine Yarns and Yarngasm podcast, knit along for the BoxOSox KAL, will know that doing 12 is the magic number. So I have, this all amounts to 10. So if I get those heels in, that'll be 10. I had to go with number 11. So let me show you that real quick. In my Alison Levitt Yarn Parlor bag, ta-da, you may have seen this before when we were doing our movie night KAL. And there's her little sticker. She's on Etsy. I love these bags. I had my movie night socks in here, which I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did not like how the fabric was turning out, so I frogged it. The pattern's fabulous, but it needs, I think, a less speckled yarn to work with. So I frogged it and I restarted, and I am, ta-da, I am here. So what have I done? I did this is the Junk Yarn Ray colorway, which is on her sock base. And I ordered this ages and ages and ages ago when she first started, and boop, there's a little heel. So for the heels and cuffs and toes, I ordered the coordinating lightsaber colorway to do those, which I'm thrilled with. I'm thrilled at how it turned out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think I made a bit of a mistake. I went down to a 64 stitch count on my traditional 2.5mm needles. These are Addy Sock Rockets, and I think it's too small for my foot. So I think Sebastian might be getting this pair of socks, but I am counting this as pair 11 in my BoxOSox KAL. So, you know what? One of the benefits of living with two guys is you can share clothes, right? So that's what we're doing. And this is the really, really super cute Progress Keeper, which is stuck everywhere on my needles and stuff. That's not gonna get fixed. Anyway, there it is. There's a little popcorn one. So that's living in here. So this is pair 11, guys. I'm almost there, and I can't let it go by without having a pair 12, and I have a plan. I'll share that with you in the haul. So that's socks. That's all there is to know about socks right now. What else are we talking about? Well, let's talk about the, in my orange Fringe Supply Company field bag, I have my pie shawl, which looks more like a weird slouchy hat at the moment than anything else. So I'm gonna try and stretch this out a little bit so you can see the progress. It may or may not work. So chart A starts out in the middle. This is not working out well, trying to do it reversed and upside down. Chart A, there you go, there's some leaves. Chart B is this sort of scallop shell motif. And chart C is where we're getting more and more leaves. I am halfway through chart C. Well, I'm through chart C 3 of the 6 times you have to run that chart, but that's okay. I'm getting there. So this is not bad progress. I'd say I'm about a third done. I learned my lesson about using many stitch markers. We talked about that, I think, last time. These little stoppers have been miraculous because these are from Cocoa Knits, as are the stitch markers. And those really, really help to keep things from sliding off. They're really snug, like they pull off easily, but they keep things tight. So, so that's going on pretty well. I talked a little bit about making sure that I put in lifelines, and that's kind of where I stalled out. I need to put the lifeline back in. And frankly, I felt like doing socks. I needed something plain, needed something simple, something that I could watch Netflix. So that's happening there. So let's talk about Netflix for a sec. What have I been watching? I'm not up to date on Gilmore Girls, so I'm not going to talk about that, and I don't want to put any spoilers out there, but I'm hearing it's fantastic, and I'll get there eventually. I have been watching, what have I been watching? I've finished Jessica Jones finally. I watched, these are all while I was knitting all of these amazing things. I watched a bunch of Black Mirror, thanks to Sue, Legacy Knits, who just said, you have to watch Black Mirror, so I'm watching Black Mirror. And then I'm halfway, more than halfway, I'm about 3/4 of the way through Daredevil, which I'm really enjoying as well. I kind of fell out of it for a bit, and now I'm getting back into it, so that's cool. I have Luke Cage to watch, I have The Crown to watch, but I've been watching a ton of Netflix while I've been knitting. And of course you need vanilla socks for knitting Netflix because it's too easy to mess up lace. So the shawl has been put away for a little bit, but it's going to come back out. It's only in like a temporary timeout, I promise. So what else? I'm just going to flip my show notes because I don't want to miss anything, guys. And I know I've been told I talk really fast on the podcast. I'm sorry. I just get excited and I want to talk about all the things. So there's that. Okay. One other work in progress I want to talk about is a new cast on. And I'll talk about what the yarn in the haul and where I got it and all that sort of stuff. But I cast on for the Pavo hat by Michele Wang, which is part of the Brooklyn Tweed fall collection for men and women. And there it is. This is not Brooklyn Tweed yarn. I will talk about the yarn in a moment. But it is a fun little cabled pattern that works out, I think, really well. I really like this yarn for it. I saw this pattern that was knit up in a sample at the Toronto Knitters Guild, and they had the vendor of the month that was there that had this knit up, and I kind of thought, wow, it's a really good deal for the yarn. Everything was like 25% off, and it came with the pattern. So I thought, what the heck, I'm so gonna do this. So I'm about halfway done, and it's getting colder in Toronto here, guys, so I really need another hat. And I stocked up, you'll remember, I guess, about 4 or 5 episodes ago when I went and hung out with Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast in Brooklyn, that I stocked up on basically hat knitting circs. So these are on US 8s at the moment, which is a 4mm for anyone who is metric, and I'm loving it. This is living in... ta-da, my yellow fringe bag. And I think pretty much this is a really good time to sort of talk about the haul. Okay, normally we would transition from status report into stash report. Sorry, stash stuff. Stash stuff this week, I haven't really done anything about adding stash in, so into my Ravelry or updating it. For a number of reasons, I've been really, really busy, but I will get back to it, I promise. It's kind of the stuff that you need, like, rum and eggnog to do, so I'm going to do that soon. Then normally I would talk about other stuff, but I want to talk about the haul first. So the yarn that I'm making the Pavo hat out of is this one. This is the Bliss Donegal Luxury Tweed Aran. This is made in Ireland, which is amazing. This is color number 360036. I don't know what that means. But if you look at the fiber content, hopefully that will focus. That's not going to focus, is it? No, it's not going to focus. I'll just tell you. It's 90% wool and 10% Angora. I've never made anything with Angora, but it does add a little, there's not much of a halo. I think the Angora must be in the neps of the tweed, because you can kind of see there are some fun little nips. I really wish this camera would do a better job of focusing. That would teach me to not use an iPhone. There we go. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point, but it's actually really interesting. It's got a really odd, sometimes really super thin construction, sometimes really big sort of poofy construction, but it's giving some good variety in the hat. It's really rustic feeling from a visual perspective, but it's really soft to the hand. So I'm really enjoying that. And apparently 2 balls of this make the Pavo hat. So that's what's in progress, and that's what's been added to the stash. I also wanted to talk about some yarn that I received. I got this wonderful skein of yarn, which I haven't even opened the bag, from my friend Kristen at Voolenvine Yarns. And guys, this is in my favorite Footsie base from Kristen. This is her BFL sock, which is, it's 80-20, superwash BFL, 20% nylon, which I love this base. I love the twist, I love the feel of it, I love working with it. And this is in the colorway Not a Creature Was Stirring. Isn't that awesome, guys? Look at those colors. This says just vintage Christmas to me. And since we just talked about status report and all of the socks and the box of socks, this is going to be pair number 12 for the year. It just seems so fitting that it's Kristen's knit along and that we're using Kristen's yarn. I've used it now in one project. I do have a skein of Outlander still that I am holding on to for dear life. I love that skein. But this is going to be my Christmas pair of socks. I will probably be casting these on or around December 1st if I can get my other pair done by then. Yeah, so this is going to be pair 12. So there we go. We have a plan. Thank you, Kristen, for that. I absolutely adore it. It's such a lovely, lovely skein of yarn. In other stuff, guys, I don't have a lot of other yarn that I bought. That was it. Like 2 skeins of Debbie Bliss, and I got 1 skein from Kristen. Everything else is paper. So a bunch of magazines kind of came out. And of course, I have my copy of Making Issue 2. I know a lot of you have received your copy. There's some great stuff in here. There's some great patterns for accessories. There's some stuff that I would not make. I'm not going to lie. Not just because of the gender, but there's some stuff that it's just like, that's not for me. But there's some really good inspirational stuff in here. And I think that that's kind of part of the purpose, is to inspire you to make stuff or want to make stuff. So that came in the post. I also picked up the winter 2017 issue of Interweave Knits. There is a lot actually for men in here. So if you've been holding off on buying it because you're looking for men's patterns, there's a lot in here. There's a great story actually about it, and I'm looking for a specific pattern. You'd think I would mark the page, right? But I kind of hopefully can find it quickly. I don't want you waiting forever. Oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. There it is. This one is also part of the wish list now because I think I need to make this. This is the Dublin Pullover by Varian Brandon. And I probably should get a better picture of this, but I'm just going to show you this. That's amazing. I love this color work, this Fair Isle. I believe this is done in the Jamieson and Smith. Yep, Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. Yeah, that would be a labor of love kind of sweater for sure. But I kind of like, hello, yes, this is me in the right colors, I think I might have to make a Grello version of that. So that also came. And last but not least, boom, Vogue Knitting Holiday came out. So interesting that there's nothing in this that I would make as a pattern for myself, but there are things that I would make for gifts. For instance, that one. I think that cardigan is lovely. I'm really about, apparently, the color work. That one's by Sarah Hatton, called The House of Cards. I don't know, there's all kinds of... Oh, sorry, that was the article. It's called House of Cards. There's some really good stuff for holidays. So if you're looking for holiday shawls, that sort of stuff to make, I don't know how fast you might be able to, whip them off, but the new issue of Vogue Knitting came. So that's it for the haul, kind of. I was also sent some lovely patterns from really, really lovely friends, which I will talk about a little bit later as well when we talk about wish list. But for the time being, I would say that that's it for the haul. Okay, let's talk a little bit about wish list. In this week's wish list, I'm going to talk about 3 patterns that I would really like to make. 4 actually, technically. This Spearheads sweater by Jared Flood. I've talked about it before. I've got the yarn for it. It's been put into deep storage in my storage locker. Oh, there goes some more sirens. They're after me again. Anyone who watched last week will know I was plagued by sirens. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing a swatch for that because I think I could do it pretty quickly. It's a very chunky wet yarn, and I really want to make it. I also received a couple of patterns from my friend Josh Ryks, of the sort of a knitter YouTube channel / Periscope, who's also got designs under Geonitrix Designs on Ravelry. And one is the Condor, which is, I think, amazing. I've got the yarn for it. I think I might need to pick up one more skein, but I've got the yarn to do that. And he also just announced his latest one, which if you saw Josh at all at Rhinebeck, he was wearing this. And now the pattern's been released, called Synthesized. and it's amazing. It starts out as a pie shawl and ends up very angular at the sort of the end. It's amazing. It's an amazing piece. I've added it to the bundle for the Pie Shawl KAL because it is a pie shawl construction. Includes some short rows and all kinds of stuff. It's a really, really great pattern. So I've already given it as a gift to one person, and I really hope that you check it out because I think it's a really cool pattern, and it's definitely on my wish list of things to make. The last one that I want to talk about that I want to make as part of my wish list is actually a pattern from Rib magazine. So those of you who know that my co-editor Devin of the Handmade in Woolen podcast and I have started a magazine called Rib, and the most amazing Hannah Fettig has actually designed one of the sweaters in this first issue and was so kind to let us name it Patina after the theme of the first issue. I really want to make it, guys. It looks amazing on. I'd say it's a really good first sweater. It's a good sweater for anybody. It's the kind of thing you just want to wear more and more and more. So I'm definitely going to be making that one because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want a great sweater to make? So basically I want to make all of the sweaters. I'm kind of almost done my socks. Once I get through socks, it's all about the sweaters. It's full steam ahead of sweaters and pie shawls. Have to add that in too. Anyway, let's come back in a few minutes and let's talk about some more fun stuff. Okay, so let's talk about two really quick things. The first thing is that Rib magazine, as I mentioned, is almost done. It's at the printer right now and it's going to be bound this week. And guys, we're shipping on December 5th. Oh my gosh, we have a thing. We made a thing. There's some patterns, there's some great articles in it, and I hope you're going to just love it as much as we do. But here's the big news, guys. Everybody who has been asking about PayPal orders and wants to actually order it direct, starting tomorrow, November 28th, you'll be able to do just that. So stay tuned. It will go live sometime probably in the afternoon and evening. I've got a full day tomorrow, so no promises as to what time it's going to go. It might be up early. I don't know, just saying. But check out ribmag.com if you want to order yours if you haven't already placed a pre-order. If you have placed a pre-order, don't worry, yours is in the queue. We have fully accounted for that. We are going to have a list of where you can buy in your local store on the website as well. We are relatively limited release right now for retailers, but if you are interested in having your store carry it, please do have them reach out to us, and you can check out all the details on ribmag.com. So, if you probably could tell, there's been a theme a little bit that's been running through this particular episode of Sticks plus Twine, and that is the theme of paper. Why? Because 1 year anniversary is traditionally the paper anniversary, so we have prizes. Yes, we're going to do a giveaway for the paper anniversary, and it's not all paper. Just saying. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, if you've stuck it out this far, you deserve to know that there's one more thing, and that one more thing is a giveaway. So it is the 1 year podiversary of this podcast and YouTube channel, and there's some most amazing, generous people who have been mentioned throughout this podcast who wanted to help celebrate the milestone. And here we go. So there are going to be 4 prizes up for grabs, and there will be 2 chances for you to win. One, I'm going to amalgamate all of the entries on both YouTube and Ravelry, so you can double dip and try twice. What you need to do, if you are a YouTube viewer, you need to subscribe to the channel, and you need to comment on this episode using the hashtag of Sticks plus Twine 1 year. That's all spelled out, and I will have it here for you. So that's Sticks plus Twine 1 year, and leave a comment. And if you leave a comment using that hashtag, you will be entered. You may also enter on Ravelry by being a member of the Ravelry group, and you enter in the thread on Ravelry, what is the one men's garment that you would most like to make? So, when do you have to finish? By 6 p.m. on Saturday, December the 3rd. Your entries will all be closed. Any YouTube comments posted after that time, that's an Eastern Standard Time, will not count towards this drawing. All of the entries will be put together into one big pot bubble, and I will select randomly 4 winners. And I bet you're curious as to what the prizes are going to be. So let's start out. The first prize is going to be a copy of Presto by Lars Rains, who so generously donated a copy of that book. So really, really exciting for that one. The second prize is going to be a copy of 2 patterns by Josh Ryks. 1, you will get a copy of Condor, and 2, you will also get a copy of Synthesized, his new shawl pattern as well. The third prize is a copy of a pattern that was donated by Anka. And Anka has developed what she calls a universal love of brioche. It is a 2-weight brioche shawl pattern that in DK becomes more of a scarf in brioche. So it's suitable for both men and women. So thank you so much for that. So that's prize number 3. Prize number 4 is more yarn. This is the only yarn prize, and it's one of my favorite colors. I'm going to take it out of the bag so you can see it. This is Kristen of Voolenvine Yarn's Footsie base again, which is my favorite base that she does for socks. And this is Dirty on Purpose, which is one of my favorite colors. It's awesome. This would make both amazing socks. It would make a really lovely hat. There's all kinds of things you could make out of this, and it would be just awesome. So thank you so much, Kristen, for that. And finally, if that wasn't enough, I lied. There's actually a 5th prize. The 5th prize will be a copy of a hot off the press for your very own copy of Rib Magazine, shipped to you from me to you. So, guys, we've got 5 prizes. There's 2 ways to win. Feel free to like, share, post, comment, get other people involved. The more, well, maybe if you want to win the prize, maybe you don't want to share, but I would appreciate the share. I'd appreciate a thumbs up if you liked this episode. If you didn't, that's okay. I don't really mind. Can't please everybody, right? That's okay. I love doing this for you guys. I hope you like the content that we're delivering. This week's a little bit thin on the ground when it comes to knitting, but that's okay. That's okay. There's other stuff in the works, right? So hope you enjoyed. That's all for this episode. Stay tuned for just a few little fun things to come up the rest of the year. I will be recording the next time on December 4th, which is a week earlier than I normally do, frankly because I'm traveling the week after that, so I won't have an opportunity to record. And I want to make sure that you all find out who won the prizes. So again, you have till December 3rd, 6 p.m. Eastern to enter, and have good luck. Thank you again for your support for the past year. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.